Worst Irish accent of all time in movies would have to be Gerard Butler in P.S. I Love You.
It's gotta be Gerard Butler in P.S. I Love You.
Gerard Butler in P.S. I Love You.
I think he's like Scottish, but his parents are Irish and all his family, but he definitely, from growing up with Irish parents, he did not rub off on the Irish accent, and it was, definitely horrific.
Just quite nice, sometimes walking along with someone without talking.
I just think he did such a bad job of it. He's not Irish. He tried to take off the accent. He had a Scottish twang, and it just sounded ridiculous. And I found that I nearly took from the movie because you're sitting there trying to watch this amazing love story, and you just heard this shit accent, and it was just like, no, you just aren't doing it. Like, and he's so hot, but like, no, there's definitely like really hot Irish actors that could have played the role.
Well, mind you, I was a few Guinnesses for the worst at this point.
I think Ireland was owed a very big apology for that movie was played all over the world, and we do not talk like that in Ireland, so...
Honestly, Kevin Spacey's like a forgotten gem amongst them in Ordinary Decent Criminals.
We're number one.
We're going to be as big as Riverdance.
Another really, really bad Irish accent is Tom Cruise in Far and Away. Him and Nicole Kidman's is really bad as well. They both play Irish immigrants to America, and they're really kind of like stereotypical, like sing-song, like oh-ti-ta-ti-ta-ti-ta, like that.
Please, I want you to pretend.
I think a special mention has to be like put out for Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman.
Sure, aren't we all equal in the eyes of the Lord? Like,
sit down with me. Let's pretend.
The worst Irish accent and the worst Irish film of all time is Leap Year.
Hello, I need a taxi to Dublin.
I'm your man, missus. I'll drive you to Dublin.
Thank you.
So Matthew Good is in it, and he's really hot, but oh my god, it's the worst accent I've ever heard in my entire life. The entire movie is crap. I couldn't even say where the accents are meant to be from. One minute she's in Dingle, then she's in the Aran Islands, and she's in Wales. Amy Adams, love her, but worst movie ever, and every time it's on RT it starts trending because it's so crap, so definitely the worst. Also have to give a shout out to Cameron Diaz in Gangs of New York. I thought she was awful in it.
Leonardo DiCaprio's was pretty crap. Like, I know he's a babe, amazing actor, but his accent in Gangs of New York rather, was horrendous.
And there's a scene with her and Leonardo DiCaprio, and they're dancing and having fun, and she's like, hold me closer, and I don't know where she's meant to be from. She sounds like a leprechaun. So does Leonardo DiCaprio, actually, a little bit.
Not much of a dancer.
Just try to keep calm.
I've never been to a stepping ken before.
It's best not to look down. You can hold me tighter if you like.
I don't know if he was supposed to be from Kerry, but he didn't. He had the same kind of thing going on as Tom Cruise, which is bigosh, bigoyer, bigay, aye. You know what I mean? One of them. And it was just a little bit. Because Cameron Diaz's was so bad, his kind of got overshadowed.
I think the worst Irish accent in the movie is Justin Theroux in Charlie's Angels, the second one.
And also Justin Theroux in Charlie's Angels. Actually, I don't know if there's been any really good accents ever.
He plays this Irish gangster named Seamus O'Grady, which is actually my last name, so it's kind of a personal insult, I felt. And it's not convincing. So there's a bit where he meets Helen for Drew Barrymore's character. They knew each other years ago, and he meets her again. So he goes, "How have you been? I'm going to teach you and your friends about paying."
You can't hurt me anymore, Helen.
I'm gonna teach you and your friends about paying.
He sounds kind of northern, I guess, yeah, but no one from the north really talks like that either.
I think Julia Roberts in Michael Collins, I think she did a really good job as Kitty. Now, she kind of had a bit of an old school Irish accent on her because she was actually trained by a Galway woman, Mary Coughlin, so she kind of had a bit of an old school Irish accent, but I think she sounded really good.
Probably Veronica Guerin. Kate Blanchett was amazing. Thought it was more of a serious movie, so I guess she needed a good accent.
Yeah, I think Kate Blanchett definitely did a really good Dublin accent. She really sounded like she was born and raised here, so yeah, she'd be the top one.
Yeah, I think hands down Kate Blanchett in Veronica Guerin, like that was just unreal. Like that was probably one of the best ones I've ever seen.
I don't want to do it, I have to do it.
I think the best Irish accent is Sam Neill. He's in Peaky Blinders and his Northern Irish accent is impeccable. Now, given that he was actually born there, but he grew up in Australia, so I think there's a running theme with the Australians. They're actually quite good at Irish accents, Kate Blanchett and Sam Neill. So most of them are descendants of Irish, so I think they've got that, maybe. A bit.
So I have to say, I think one of the most amazing, most convincing Irish accents I've ever heard was off English actor Will Poulter in Glassland. He was just unbelievable. He pulled off this real strong Dublin accent, and like even after seeing it, people were outside the cinema and they could not believe that he was actually English. Like that's how good it was.
Toni Collette in Glassland, actually, she was amazing, and Will Poulter in Glassland was amazing as well. They're probably the only people that have done it, and they pulled off Tala accents.
All right, what's it coming to?
It's a 40-cent fine a day.
What's that?
10 days, man. 40 cent a day. That's €4, man, come on.
What are you getting smart for?
But then on the flip side, it kind of made Jack Rayner, who is an Irish actor, sound not half as convincing. Like his Irish accent, it's nearly, if you didn't know the actors, you'd nearly think that maybe Jack wasn't actually Irish because his wasn't as good as Will Poulter's. So I think, yeah, definitely Will was one of the best I've seen. So Will Poulter was kind of like talking like he was from North Dublin. That sounds awful. Clearly I'm never going to do an accent, and Jack's was kind of like, he was kind of had a bit of a Dublin accent going on. He was kind of trying to put a bit of Tala into it, but it just wasn't really working, and it was kind of like dipping in and out, whereas Will was able to hold the strong Dublin accent throughout the entire movie. So yeah, Will was definitely unbelievable.
I think if anyone wants to be a leprechaun, job done, top of the morning to you, but other than that, everyone's crap.